Uganda is a place of possibility and diversity. However, behind the surface, there is a gap that must be addressed urgently. In Uganda, 60% of national expenditure goes to public procurement, making it one of the biggest markets in the country. Yet only 1% of the registered women-led businesses have bidded and won government tenders, according to IDRC-funded research conducted between September 2021 and May 2022 by Africa Freedom of Information Center AFIC in partnership with Open Contracting Partnership OCP and the Institute of Social Accountability TISA.
Our research found that there are legal, policy, operational capacity barriers that prevent women from participating in public procurement across East Africa. And in response to these findings, we have undertaken advocacy campaigns in Ethiopia, Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, and Rwanda, and we are very pleased that governments have responded positively to these recommendations. In Uganda, for example, in addition to amending the PPDA Act to provide for reservation of contracts for special groups, the government has also drafted regulations and guidelines to ensure that women can get access to contracts in every agency.
In Uganda, 38% of the businesses are owned by women, but only 44% of these are registered on the National Supplier Database. In light of this, AFIC embarked on an advocacy mission to advocate for gender-responsive public procurement in Uganda, starting with training women on public procurement in collaboration with Public Procurement and Disposal of Public Assets Authority (PPDA) through Uganda Women Entrepreneurs Association Limited (UWIL), where 20 women entrepreneurs got trained.
We got an opportunity to attend the training at the PPDA headquarters organized by AFIC. There was a lot of opportunity there, a lot of knowledge that we acquired, given that there has been a gap in the women-owned businesses. Two, the skills. These skills have helped us apply on the PPDA forums, given that there's 80% of chances for women to acquire these opportunities.
For me, it used to be a mystery to participate in procurement, but after having that training, I was able to say I want to actually try it. So after the training, I said I'm going to actually go forward and go to PPDA and find out what are the requirements and what do I need to do. And the good thing is that the business was already registered, so I was able to go and register with PPDA.
The telling of the stories after the engagement with AFIC and then the research that was presented has actually, it opened my eyes and it opened my mind. So the approach to the story for me has changed. From that day, what I learned about is how I should be approaching the stories, especially picking out women that telling their stories that are involved in procurement. Sometimes we tend to look out for stories, but then our purpose has always been who is available. And most times men are always available for interviews and media, but then I realized that there is a need to do an extra effort. Look out for these women because they are there, they are being challenged, but then their stories are actually not being told.
Uganda has made progressive laws and policies, however, implementation remains wanting. To address this, AFIC used the research to make recommendations to PPDA to foster a gender-responsive public procurement.
As a result of the study, PPDA came up with initiatives and interventions to uplift women participation in public procurement. And one of the initiatives were to build the capacity of the women groups, but also disaggregate data in terms of gender. Because before that, you would look at who has won the contract, and just put the name of the provider. But now we want to know who is this provider. Is it a woman-owned enterprise or a man's owned enterprise?
AFIC has held a number of stakeholder meetings, including one with legislators on delayed payments. These have since raised the matter in Parliament.
Incidentally, I'm the most rural MP in the 11th Parliament. Government procurement process is a bulky process. And in Uganda, only 1% or even less than 1% of women participate in the public procurement system. After the AFIC meeting, the women leaders got perturbed. So we had a meeting with the Committee of Finance. A few of us women attended, and I was personally there. We requested them, if it is possible, we talked to PPDA CREAM team to relax some of the procedures that are needed for women to participate.
Despite the progress made, a lot more needs to be done to have an inclusive public procurement system in Uganda.
We call upon the countries, the governments in the region to implement the relevant provisions for women's participation in public procurement, because we have found that even when laws are in place, as was the case in Tanzania from our research, implementation can be challenged and people will not get the benefits. Also, we urgently recommend that all the governments across the region to start capturing and publishing data, procurement data, in gender disaggregated formats.